Good morning, Woodmore Dolphins. We are in our fourth week of skill related fitness components. So, as always, we're going to do just a quick review so we can get started. First of all, we always like to review the difference between health related and skill related fitness components. Even though oftentimes we find they are related to each other, it's still important to know the difference. Health related fitness is the ability to become and stay physically healthy through exercise. And skill related fitness improves your performance in sports and physical activities. Again, just because you don't play competitive sports doesn't mean that you shouldn't be working on your skill related fitness. Skill related fitness helps you maintain a healthy lifestyle, and it makes it easier to do your 60 minutes of physical activity every day, both of which affects your health related fitness. Knowing your skill related fitness levels can help you choose lifelong activities, and then, of course, it helps you remain safe throughout your life. Agility, balance, coordination, and power, reaction time, and speed are our 6 skill-related fitness components. The very first one we reviewed was agility, being able to change positions of your body quickly and control your body's movements. We talked about how that can help keep you safe in an emergency. If you are stepping off the curb and you see to cross the street and you see a car coming, and you can change directions and control your body's movements quickly, as well as with sports and activities. And then we had balance, keeping an upright posture while standing still or moving. There are 2 types of balance: that static balance, which is standing still. I like that S, static, standing still, helps you remember, with either 1 or 2 feet. Dynamic balance means that you're keeping your body upright while it's in motion, so riding a bike or walking on a balance beam. We showed a couple different examples. So in our tree pose in yoga, this is a static balance because she's standing still in this picture. She's on 1 foot in this example. And then dynamic balance, we had our little Australian Shepherd puppy walking on a balance beam while also balancing a fidget spinner on their nose and looking for a treat, of course, in the end. Then last week we talked about coordination, using your senses together with your body parts, or to use 2 or more body parts together. So either using your sight, your eyes, or your hearing, or your sense of touch. Those are examples of your senses, and how you can then trigger a movement with those senses, or those senses help guide you to do your activity. Or using 2 or more body parts together, like if we were juggling or if we're riding a bike, we have to use our body parts together. So this is commonly called motor coordination, and there are 2 types: gross and fine. Gross is large, fine is small muscles. Gross is large muscles, fine, small muscles. That's really an important thing for us to know. And then we have some examples. Hand-eye coordination. Sight guides, controls, and directs your arm or your hand actions. And then there's foot-eye, where your sight guides, controls, and directs foot or leg actions. How do these help me? Well, in sports, hand-eye coordination, throwing, catching, juggling; foot-eye coordination, soccer, bike riding. Then we get into a school, and hand-eye coordination oftentimes is our fine motor skills, small muscles, writing, typing, and cutting when we use it with our hands. Foot-eye coordination, walking down the stairs, that can be gross motor skills, the big muscles in your legs working, but also the fine muscles in your feet to make sure you stay balanced. In life or in work, keeping you safe. Hand-eye coordination helps you operate machines and use tools safely. Foot-eye coordination helps when you drive or step off curbs. So this week we are going to talk about power, which is your ability to move strength quickly. And power is kind of interesting because it combines a health-related fitness component. You see that key word in there, strength, which should trigger your memory, something heavy, lifting something heavy. And quickly is speed, which is another skill-related fitness component we're actually going to talk about next week, but you'll get a little sneak peek of it this week. So being able to push or pull with maximum force is strength. And then speed is performing something in a short period of time. So moving our strength quickly is the definition of power. And an example would be a plyometric push-up. So a plyometric exercise is an explosive exercise that involves shortening your muscles and then lengthening the muscles in order to increase power. And so I have a little video here. She starts out doing her regular push-ups, and then she goes into 2 different types of plyometric push-ups. And I'm going to show you these and talk you through, and then you can practice these on your own. So here's a regular push-up. She's shortening her muscles and lengthening her muscles as she goes down and up. And then she'll move into the first version of a plyometric push-up, which is a little bit more explosive. She goes down into her push-up position and she shoots up and comes off the ground with both hands at the same time. So that's the first version of a plyometric push-up. You can see that it's an explosive movement. And then she has a second, more difficult version where she explodes off and is able to actually clap while she is up in the air. So that is a second example of a plyometric push-up. The last example I have for you for our powerful movements, also plyometric, are horizontal and vertical jumping. So the horizontal jump we think of in PE often as our standing long jump, or sometimes we do a running long jump. And vertical jump is anytime we jump as high as we can. So when we do rocket jumps, or when we're on our jump board to see how high we can jump, the blue board on the wall. But obviously in games and sports, jumping to get a rebound in basketball or jumping to catch a ball in football. Here is an example of Byron Jones. Oops, sorry about that. Let me go back. Who was a cornerback in the NFL. And he takes part in the broad jump. Look at that explosive movement. And he actually set a record at the time. And this is his vertical jump. So he's jumping as high as he can. You can see he kind of prepares his body and in a really explosive, powerful movement shoots up off of the ground. So those are some examples of plyometric exercises which would increase your power. So short, explosive movements. So again, don't forget, go to your grade level tab for this week's activity and then fill out your attendance form. We only have a couple weeks left after this week. We'll be working on speed and reaction time coming up. And of course, as always, if you need to email us, there is Mrs. Swearingen's email, and there's my email. We'd love to hear from you. There are a couple new things that we added to the website this last week. We added an area where you could go back and review past lessons if you have accidentally missed any of the past lessons. So there's a new tab that you can go to that says past lessons. And we also have been adding some translations to our lessons. And so hopefully our families who are Spanish speaking have been able to see the subtitles written in Spanish. I know it's not perfect, and some of the words might be a little off, but we hope you enjoy it and we hope it's helpful. Have a great week.